Welcome to the Trumbull Aquatics Center on the campus of Denison University in Granville, Ohio, as we wrap up our exclusive coverage of the 2016 North Coast Swimming and Diving Championships. Saturday marked the fourth and final day of competitions as things got underway with the 1650. In the men's race, it was Kenyon sophomore David Perez who touched the wall in 15:44.06 to earn his first ever individual title. Perez, who finished second in the mile as a freshman and dropped nearly 4 seconds from his final time a year ago, spoke about his all-conference performance.
Well, from the beginning, I had a certain plan that I wanted to execute for the mile. So that's all I was thinking about, and I think I executed it pretty well.
You talk about that execution, David. One of the things that impressed me most as I looked at your race was sort of the consistency across the board. We talked about those splits, those 50 times, always below 30, and then came on really strong in those last couple 50s. How proud are you of sort of the work that you've put in throughout the course of the year to be prepared for that and to have that consistency throughout the 1650 tonight?
I'm very proud. I put in a lot of work this year, a lot of yardage, training for this mile, and it worked. So
you mentioned the work. Last year as a freshman, you finished second in this event. Over the course of the past year, you mentioned that work. When you touched the wall and you realized that you're an NCAC champion, your first individual of your career, what was that feeling like for you?
Well, I was very happy for myself. A lot of hard work, more than a year, basically my whole life for this. That was pretty nice.
Finally, David, just what were your thoughts this week, being with your teammates, the atmosphere of finals, the grueling competition, from everyone across the NCAC? How much fun is an NCAC championship event like this for you?
I thought it was a lot of fun. We get to go out there and compete with many competitors out there and race our hardest and just have fun.
In the women's race, DePaul junior Angela Newland once again made history by touching the wall in 16:29.5. For Newland, it was her second NCAC individual title of the meet and second in historic fashion as she set another pool and NCAC meet record with her performance. Denison's Jacqueline Dale continued his impressive meet by picking up his third individual NCAC title, winning the men's 200 backstroke in a time of 1:47.89. I caught up with the Big Red Junior after his breakout NCAC performance and asked him about his meet experience and what his third and final title meant to him.
I thought it was a really good race. This morning was a little iffy. I didn't have the legs toward the end, but I got a lot of kick in for warm-up, and I think that made a big difference. And it's a good booster going to nationals in a few weeks, just to signify where we're going to be.
For you coming into this 2016 championships in your junior season, upperclassmen, a big year for you. You pick up not only your first individual NCAC title, but collect 3 in all, including the NCAC Swimmer of the Year. Just kind of reflect on what this week has been for you. How much confidence does this give you heading into nationals?
It's been an amazing experience. I couldn't have done this without Greg and all the guys in my lane that push me every day. It's a really nice confidence booster going into nationals. I know we have a lot more work to do, but I know it's going to pay off in the long run.
Team closes out with a 4x4 relay championship and then into the team title, another team victory for this Big Red program. How proud are you of this group's effort? How big is the way this week went for you in terms of a team effort heading into the next month as you get prepared for nationals?
I'm really proud of every single guy on the team. Some of us might not have been scoring, or some of us might not have had the best swims, but we couldn't have done it without every single one of us there. And I think it was a huge booster just to have everyone cheering like they were this weekend.
You mentioned nationals looking ahead middle of March for the NCAA National Championship meet. Between now and the next few weeks, what must this team do in terms of getting prepared to be able to perform the best possible way they can heading into the national championship?
I think we just got to stay hungry. This was a big win for us, and I know it boosts a lot of people's confidences, but in order to do the same thing at nationals, we got to stay focused and stay driven.
On the women's side, Kenyon freshman Delaney Ambrosen earned her first career NCAC individual title, hitting the wall in 2:20.97. Ambrosen, who was part of an impressive ladies freshman class which showed well in their first ever conference championship, talked about her 200 backstroke title.
Well, I didn't quite know at first. It took me a little while to register, but it was just really exciting. Jess Book just told me to go out there and race, and that's what I did. It was just incredible. So.
And finally, for you, just what was this atmosphere like for you this week? How much fun was it to come to your first ever NCAC championship? The electricity at night at finals, was it something that, as you expected, was it as fun as you had hoped it would be?
Oh, I never expected this. It was unbelievable. The team, the atmosphere, you can't help but to get excited when you're racing. And being a part of this team, they're cheering and everything, it's just incredible. I love it.
Kenyon senior Joey Duro Neo finished in the footsteps of his teammate from a season ago, Austin Caldwell, by winning the men's 100 free tonight in a time of 45:08. The sweep of the 200 and 100 freestyle, Duro Neo came into the 2016 NCAC Championships in search of his first individual title and spoke about how special this week was for him.
It was really exciting. I actually didn't know at first. I had to look to my teammates in the cheering section, and they were going crazy, and then I looked at the board and found out, and it's great. It was really exciting. I'm really happy, and it's just nice to have such a great team support.
45:08. Last night in the 200, one of the things that impressed me the most was your second half of that race, how strong you looked, and you were able to come back and obviously pick up the win. The 100, obviously not quite as long of a race. What was different tonight? What was your strategy a little bit different? How were you able to sort of get out there and come in and close strong and get the win in the 100 this evening?
The 100 is actually pretty similar for me. I try to have a strong back half, go out with a lot of easy speed, and then just hammer home that third 25. And I was able to do it, and I pushed off the last wall and saw I was at least even, if not slightly ahead, and was able to do it. So,
before I get to asking about nationals, I want to ask, as a senior, what was it like to open up this evening in the senior recognition? It's something that you've obviously gone through as an underclassman and last year as a junior, and you've seen some great friends kind of go through that moment. But for you to be in there this evening and have that moment as a senior along with the rest of your class, was that special? What was that like for you?
It was special. It was really cool. It's gone by really fast, and I can't believe it's already been 4 years, but it's been really fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it. So.
The NCAC Championships kicks off championship season. This is why you train so hard throughout the course of the year, and there were so many great swims, not only individually but relays as well for this team. As you look forward to the next couple of weeks, middle of March when the NCAAs come up, what must this group do over the next few weeks to try and make sure that you are as prepared as you possibly can to put your best foot forward at nationals?
Just get back to work on the little things, the small details that we know we can get better at, and just focus on building this team and being excited for the next meet.
Duro Neo's classmate, Ncaa, picked up her second individual title of the meet as she touched the wall in 50:63 to win the women's 100 freestyle. Lobb became the first female swimmer to win both the 50 and 100 free in the same championship meet for the first time since 2008. I had the chance to catch up with Lobb after the meet and asked her about her race this evening and how special this week has been for her.
I think the race went pretty well. It felt better than this morning. I really just wanted to go out tonight and see what I could do for my team. There were a lot of exciting races across the board, and we were really just building off the excitement of each other.
You talk about exciting races and the team. One of the things that really stood out to me this week was the performance of this freshman class of the ladies. Incredibly impressive, a number of individual wins. Freshmen all up and down finals, including in the 100 free. What have you seen from this freshman class as a senior, one of the leaders of this group, that's really impressed you with the way they've performed, not only this week, but throughout the course of the season?
We were really excited about the freshman class coming in, and I think they've exceeded all our expectations. We really like them as people. They're fun to be around, really positive on deck, and they're also really fast. And we got to have a whole 800 freestyle relay with just freshmen on it last night, which was really exciting, and they managed to pull out a win for our team. So we're so happy to have them here.
First team title for this group since 2008, the first since you've been here. What was that feeling like as the course of the week built on and you sort of were able to see that this was a possibility? How excited is this group just in terms of what they've accomplished as a whole and to get that first NCAC team victory, first in your career? How much does that speak to the hard work that this group's put in throughout the year?
I think that it's great to win the conference. It's not really always been our main focus, and so we haven't put too much weight on it, but it's really nice to have won that with the whole team here, because sometimes we focus on nationals and you don't have the whole team there, and so it's really nice to have this as a team effort and succeed as a whole team.
You talk about the focus and we look ahead to the nationals, the middle of March, a few weeks away. This really starts the beginning of championship season. What needs to be done between now and the next 3 or 4 weeks to make sure this group is as prepared as they possibly can be to put their best feet forward into the NCAA championships?
There's not really a whole lot to do. We just keep focused. We go back into some hard training for a couple of weeks, and then we start on our taper and really just have to trust in the Kenyon taper and see where it takes us.
Wabash senior Zachariah Banks became the 7th swimmer in NCAC history to win both the 100 and 200 breaststroke in the same meet after touching the wall in 2:01:59. For the Little Giants, Banks' 200 breaststroke marked the 5th individual title in program history. Joining Denison's Jack Lindell as a 3-time individual winner at the 2016 championships was Kenyon sophomore Julia Wilson, who won the women's 200 breaststroke in a time of 20:14:90. Wilson, who set a new pool and meet record in prelims, returned in the finals to break her own mark from that she set in the morning. After collecting her 3rd individual title, I had the opportunity to catch up with Wilson and asked her about her outstanding performance throughout the week.
Well, it's been awesome. I mean, the whole team has been just so exciting and been getting to the wall first and just having so much fun, and I just tried to build off that.
Julia, this morning in prelims, you came out and swam really well, setting a new pool and meet record. To come back in the evening and break the record that you had set in prelims, how much does that, talk about sort of the character of you as a swimmer, but also how proud were you to drop that time? I know it's always so important that swimmers really want to continue to improve even into finals.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to be able to drop a little bit more time, but, finals is always exciting, and you just got to kind of ride that excitement.
And finally, looking ahead, how do you sort of put into perspective the excitement of what this weekend has been, not only to you as a swimmer, but obviously the program as well, picking up the NCAC team championship, and then trying to refocus and get prepared as you look at the NCAAs and championships in just a few weeks?
Well, I think the ladies are in a really, really good place right now, and what we need to do is just refocus and start training again.
The final individual event of the 2016 championships was the 200 fly. In the men's race, Kenyon freshman John Zimdars hit the wall in 1:49:56 to capture his first NCAC title. Zimdars, who finished 6th in the 100 fly, talked about his outstanding performance on the evening.
It's an amazing feeling. What was even more amazing was seeing my team react to the first place. It was unbelievable. They were like up in the air, like so excited, more excited than I was. It was unbelievable.
You talk about the team, John. I think one of the unique things about this NCAC championship is the atmosphere at finals night. Is that something that you can kind of gain energy off of? Do you feel the atmosphere in your first championship, was it different than maybe you had expected, and is that something that you definitely were able to dig deep and maybe find an extra gear?
Oh, it was much different than I expected. Like, there's so much energy with the team. Like, everyone else is doing good. It's so much easier to like get into the rhythm of things and look forward to the race rather than being nervous about it.
John, last night you finished 6th in the 100 fly. You come back tonight, we were talking before we went on air about 200 being your distance. What's the difference for you? Why are you able to sort of find that extra gear, that strength down that second 100 to obviously pick up the win this evening?
I think in the 200 fly I can hold my speed a lot better in the back half as opposed to other people. Tonight I actually kind of swim it differently. I went out a little faster and then died the back half, but usually I can just hold it out more than the 100 fly.
And finally, John, obviously your freshman year, this is all stuff that's new for you. You're going through it through the first time. What are you looking forward to as you get prepared for the NCAA championships here in a couple of weeks? What do you expect to sort of be the challenges that you'll face over the next few weeks?
I'm looking forward to like being with my team again. It's been an unbelievable experience. I haven't like had anything like this before. So yeah, that, and then challenges, I'll see when they come, but I'm looking forward to conquering them.
Finally, Denison's Haley Garza repeated as the 200 fly champion with a winning time of 2:02:40. Garza became the 8th swimmer in the history of the championships to repeat as the 200 fly champion. After her performance, I had the opportunity to talk with the sophomore and ask her about her championship swim.
It felt pretty well. I just wanted to stay nice and relaxed and swim my own race and, just go out there and do what I know I could do.
Haley, last year as a freshman, you had a lot of success here. What was different now in your sophomore year? Sort of, you understood, you knew what was expected. Did it feel different this year? Were there less nerves? Was it a little bit more calming, sort of knowing what to expect coming in your second NCAC championship?
I think so, yeah. I was a lot more confident heading up to the blocks. I knew my races, I knew my race plan, and then pretty much the big thing for me was being there for the team this year, really helping out now that I feel like an upperclassman.
For you, Haley, this sort of kicks off the beginning of championship season. As the NCAC championships and now looking forward to the NCAA national championship. How proud of your team's effort this week, and what must be done over the course of the next 5 weeks as we look ahead to the middle of March to try and make sure this group is prepared as best as they possibly can to put forth a good effort in the Nationals?
I'm so proud of the team this weekend. We swam like lights out, I think. And I think over the next couple of weeks, just continue to train, continue to be really positive, and just keep that fire going.
After the 200 fly, the crowd turned its attention to the diving well, where they were once again treated with a historic performance. Kenyon senior Mariah Zarka closed out her outstanding conference career by winning the women's 3-meter championship with a pool and NCAC meet record score of 493.25. Zarka, who won both the 1 and 3-meter boards for the third consecutive year, talked about her performance from a memorable week.
Super excited. It couldn't have ended in a better way. My family being here was really awesome. This is the first time they've ever come to the conference. It was really fun for them to feel this energy and to see how it is, and it's really cool.
Named the NCAC Women's Diver of the Meet, you break not only the 1 and 3-meter meet records, but pool records as well. This is a pool you've been diving in for a while. To have your best showing now in your senior year in your final NCAC championship, how much confidence does that give you as you look ahead to the NCAAs and regionals?
It feels good. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's cool to have this on my track record, that this is possible for me to bring it almost all together in a meet. But it's just like a meet. With every dive, you have to celebrate it, and then you kind of have to let it go and continue training and to just, continue reaching for perfection.
One of the things I've really enjoyed, Maria, about you over the course of your career is the joy that you share in others' awards. Your coach, Andy Scott, being named the NCAC Female Diving Coach of the Meet. How much pride do you take in that, and how much does that speak to the hard work that you and him have put in throughout the course of not only this year but your career?
It makes me really happy. No, I'm like over the moon whenever Andy gets highlighted for his hard work and everything that he puts into, because nobody really sees what coaches do behind the scenes and all the sweat and all the work that he puts in. So it's really I think I was more excited for his award than I was for mine.
And finally, Maria, for the first time in your career, you go home with the NCAC team championship as well. The first time since 2008 that the ladies go home with it, the 24th in the history of this program. How fun is that? How much does that sort of cap off what's been an incredible week for you and the rest of this team?
It's all right. No, that was so cool. This was the best end to any conference that I could have ever imagined. It's just really cool to have the whole team just lifted up by each other's excitement and to finish like this.
The NCAC Championships wrapped up in the pool with the 400 freestyle relay. In the men's race, Denison snapped Kenyon's 6-year winning streak in the event to pick up the victory for the first time since 2009. Sophomore Stuart Holm, senior Ryan Fleming, junior Max Howes, and senior Conrad Warren combined to touch the wall in a time of 2:59.28. Warren, who was outstanding all week in the relay swims, posted the best 100 split with 44.25. Kenyon finished second in 2:59.76, and DePaul took home third in 3:04.01. In the women's relay, Denison earned consecutive victories in the event for the first time since 2010-11. Junior Carolyn Kane, along with seniors Ashley Yearwood, Kate Wright, and Mary Van Leuven hit the wall in 3:22.65, nearly 14 seconds faster than their prelim time. Van Leuven led the Big Red with the fastest 100 split in 50.26. Kenyon was second with a time of 3:24.56, and Oberlin earned all conference honors, touching the wall in 3:34.67. Now let's take a look at the major awards of the 2016 championships. On the women's side, DePaul junior Angela Newland became the first swimmer in school history to take home the NCAC Women's Swimmer of the Year award after she swept the distance freestyle events in record-setting fashion at the 4-day meet. She opened the meet on Thursday night by resetting the NCAC record in the 500 free with a winning time of 4:48.61 before capping off her meet by breaking the league record in the 1650 with a time of 16:29.59. Newland, who swam a leg in both the 200 medley and 400 medley relays that collected all NCAC honors with third-place finishes. In the diving well, Kenyon senior Maria Zarka earned the NCAC Women's Diver of the Year award for the third year in a row after breaking two of the oldest records on the NCAC books. On Thursday, she broke the record in the 1-meter board with a 4:80.85 score before returning to the well on Saturday evening and shattering the record in the 3-meter competition with a score of 4:93.25. Melissa Moody of Allegheny had held the previous record in both events, setting the 1-meter mark in 4:60.30 back in 1989 and posting the 3-meter record of 4:70 in 1991. Denison junior Jack Lindell was tabbed the 2016 NCAC Men's Swimmer of the Year after he swept the individual medley events and also picked up the conference's crown in the 200 back. With winning times of 1:49.21 in the 200 IM and 3:54.31 in the 400 IM, he became the first NCAC male swimmer since 1987 to win both IM events at the championship meet. His time in the 200 surpassed the previous conference record of 1:49.35 set by teammate Joe Brunk last winter. In the diving well, Denison junior Max Levy earned the NCAC Men's Diver of the Year award after winning the 3-meter competition with a score of 5:63.40 and finishing second on the 1-meter board with 5:47.45. In addition, Kenyon freshman Marisol Arce and Denison freshman Mitch Williams were named the Women's and Men's Newcomer of the Year, respectively. Arce, who won the 400 IM in 4:23.95 and finished second in both the 500 free and 16:50, while Williams collected a pair of all NCAC certificates after placing second in the 200 fly and third in the 400 IM. Kenyon head coach Jess Book was named the Women's Coach of the Year for the second time in his career, while Denison head coach Greg Perini picked up the Men's Coach of the Year honor for the 8th time in his career. Finally, Kenyon's Andy Scott was named the Women's Diving Coach of the Year for the second time in his career, while Denison's Russ Bertram took home the Men's Diving Coach of the Year award for the 3rd season in a row. As we wrap up our exclusive coverage of the 2016 championships, let's take a look at the final results. First, on the men's side. Congratulations to Denison, who successfully defended their crown for the 8th straight year. The Big Red won 12 events and tallied 1,942.5 points to edge the Kenyon Lords in the final standings for the 8th year in a row. In addition, DU student-athletes eclipsed 2 conference records and posted 17 additional all-NCAC efforts. DePauw checked in at 3rd for the 5th year in a row with 1,113 points, followed by Wabash, Worcester, Wittenberg, Ohio Wesleyan, Allegheny, Oberlin, and Hiram. The Kenyon Ladies regained their spot at the top of the team standings for the first time since 2008 and the 24th time in team history. The Kenyon Ladies, who captured the title with 1,957.5 points, won 11 total events, set 4 NCAC records, and tallied 17 additional all-NCAC finishes to top Denison for the first time since 2008. The Big Red totaled 1,787.5 points after winning 7 events, setting 1 conference record and logging an additional 15 all-NCAC performances. DePauw finished 3rd in the women's standings for the 4th year in a row with 1,141.5 points, followed by Worcester, Oberlin, Wittenberg, Allegheny, Ohio Wesleyan, and Hiram. That will close out our coverage of the 32nd North Coast Swimming and Diving Championships. Congratulations to all the NCAC student-athletes who competed throughout the week. A special thank you to Denison University and its entire staff, including President Adam Weinberg, Athletic Director Nan Carney DeBoard, Director of Aquatics Chris Kroom, and the Big Red Sports Information staff Craig Hicks and Jason Miller for all their hard work over the course of the week. Again, I am Russell Kramer of the NCAC office. Please log on to our website, www.northcoast.org, for full coverage of the 2016 Swimming and Diving Championships, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at NCAC. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.